Welcome. Thank you for being here, and it's a pleasure to be part of this summer camp. I'm so excited to help you guys plan your app. I hope you all have been to the latest seminar, like with the workshop with Alejandro, and have thought about your idea for your app and doing some ideation. I remember that there were some exercises and that he asked how we were feeling about having ideas. So I was there too, and I was very excited about having ideas because that's what I do. Like I'm a UI UX designer. My name is Karla Fernandes. Forgot totally to say, right? It's horrible. So, and I mentor designers, and I am also creating digital products. So I'm also a no-code expert. I use Bravo for a while now, and I have published 5 apps. If you don't know me and want to learn a little bit more about myself, just check out a video that they have it on Bravo Studio channel and on YouTube that talks a little bit about it and my process on how I publish these 5 apps. So for this workshop, what I brought here were a little bit, a very squeezed version of what I would do for an app, not just planning us like, oh yes, now you do this and this and this, but really go along with each step in a very simplified way. So the process itself, of course, can take months, or if you are doing a design sprint, it can be a shorter version, things like this, like when you are in design. But here I'm trying to bring you guys like a summary of some of the ideas from the design process that can help for launching the first MVP or the first app. So this you'll be working together with what was done, that was the idea, right? So idea generation, then we will do the app planning, that you have the definition and the ideation, some user flows, wireframes, and a little bit of a strategy that you could do for launching your app. And later on, you would see the rest of the no-code summer camp, and you see that this you fit all together. So let's start. Actually, I have notes that I speak so a lot. I will try today to speak less. So here, just say that, right? Here I can show you a little bit about myself that I was telling. So, epic plan. Decide. You have decided in the latest seminar what was your idea, right? I don't know which ideas were, like please be free to put in the chat, like what is your app idea, or what is that you are trying to launch in September when this no-code summer camp finishes. Anyone wants to say a little bit about it? Can check here on the chat. So Alberto still has no idea, have no idea. Maybe it's something you come up today, like as we kind of try to do some drawings. Anyone? Nobody has an idea? So you guys want to do this summer camp and later on review it and do it? Please don't do that. Let's do it right now. Let's take action. So Andrew wants to do a multi-company delivery app. Oh, that sounds very interesting. Like from what I read here, it might be something that involves, yeah, a lot of companies, maybe from the same industry, maybe from different industries. Andrew, Joel is saying that he's hoping to create an app for young alcoholics. Wow, that's something that can change some people's lives. So that's very nice, very interesting. I would really love to know more what you do for these young alcoholics. So here resource chat, AA meetings. So young adults, well, very cool. In the phase to define, so the first one would be to have an idea, right? The second one now is to define. So how we define things. It's time to create this business plan that will be more or less a mix of what. So now the chat is on top of my screen. I try to, yes, I think this works. So, a little bit of what you want to do and how you plan to do it. With the problem statement, what is the purpose of your app? Like Joe just said here that he's hoped to create an app for young alcoholics. But what's the purpose? Is to help young alcoholics to do something. And target audience, so who you want to help. Maybe the young alcoholics, like what would be the age, like the age, their gender. In this case, I think like it doesn't matter the gender. If there is a career specificity, probably not. If there is a location, so when you are starting an MVP, it's very important to think of those two, because like the point of the location, it might be a start. For example, Uber started in San Francisco, if I'm not wrong, and they just start to run their app first there, and later on they started in other cities and then some countries, and then now it's like everywhere. So for you to start a product, it's interesting to you to also think if it's interesting for this to you to have a specific location. What are the risks or opportunities out there? Think of your competitive analysis. Like you have several ways to do this. You have you can list the list of your top competitors, if there are other people doing the same thing that you want to do. And from that, you can think of what you like, what you dislike, like what are the reviews about the app. For example, let's talk about food. And if you think about iFood, what you like there? Oh, I like that there are some discounts. I like that I can search several types of food. I like that they have the price difference from restaurant, like how much they charge me to deliver. So you can put a bunch of likes together, and also dislikes. What you dislike there? Maybe I dislike the process when I just got in, or you could dislike that they send you a lot of emails, or you could dislike that sometimes they are late with they send you that you deliver at a certain time later, or they are later. So you can have several dislikes. Reviews I think are very powerful. I all the time say this to my mentees. It's like if you are doing a certain app and you have competitors, if you go to their app store page, you see there the reviews, and you get a lot of things. So you get people, what people do. People that love it are going to go there and put everything they love about that. People that hate it are more probably to write, so they go there and write everything they hate about that. And more than that, they will tell everything they hate, and they will say why, which you already help you think of things that people dislike, and also things that people are wishing. So they can also talk about like, oh, you know, I hate this app because it doesn't have this or that. So you can get this or that and add to your app. It's like an opportunity, right? So you can also think about the strengths, the weakness, the opportunities, and the threats of your competitors. Like what are their strengths, what they are doing right, what are their weaknesses, what they are doing wrong, or how the opportunities, so what they are doing wrong that you could do better, or how you could improve what they are doing good too, and the threats, like what they are doing that they might do better than you that could threaten your own app. So you could think of those, and you can also create goals, like in this phase of definition. You can think of 1 or 2 goals and prioritize the features. So smart goals come from being specific, measurable, achievable, realistic or relevant, and timely, like being with a time frame. So here I will, like this file I already shared with you guys, have an exercise, and this is a workshop and we should put hands-on. So here I have an example of what I did for this phase of define, and for a product that I actually want to launch for the Brazilian market, that is called Copy Collie. So I already have a name for my app, I already have an idea, and here in my problem statement, I'm saying that what I want to help small business create their own market content easily. So that's what I want to do with my app. What do you want to do with your app? So here down, you have a page on Figma that you can just select and type your own answer. Think about that, or you can also paper and pen and just write there. Write what's the problem that you want to solve, who you are going to help. Yes, Joy, I sent the link before. You send again here. Let's see if it works. Oops, no, here. Oops, no, this wasn't this. This was like another thing. I copy again the link here. Yes, so this is this Figma community file. Someone already duplicated it. You can get this file too. And coming back to the example, so here I added the problem statement of my product that will be help small business create their own marketing content easily. What's my target audience? Remember, think about age, location, and things. So my target audience are entrepreneurs in Brazil, because I will do this app in Portuguese, that are struggling with time-consuming tasks of updating their social media channels. So what I said is that I want to help a business to create their own marketing content easily. And now, who is my target audience? Like I could put the age of the entrepreneurs or so, but right now I don't want to niche it so much, but you could, like depending on the product that you have, you may have something that are directed to kids or to young adults, like Joel, for example. Or Andrew also has a age group that maybe are more related to buying from a delivery app. So, you see with the time that you can target one audience, like maybe I would say here that would be entrepreneurs from 30 to 45 years that are in Brazil. And I could also just define that I will start with one single town, for example, the capital, Brasilia, that are struggling with this task that is updating social media channels. So that would be something. Quick competitive analysis would be, I just went online and I checked for other people that offer this kind of service, like a service of copywriting. So I found something like the CopHacks, SB Copy, Copycom, Copy Samurai, and I realized with all those points that most of them are professionals or companies. They have some copyright courses. They are mostly expensive. They work on the renewed contract base. and they may be fully booked. Maybe they are very good, and I could not contract them either for like maybe next year or so, and that's the problem too, which I saw. And they have. They don't really have the owner's interest, like the business owner's interest to heart, because sometimes they are not specialized in everything. So, you know, they are kind of writing for anything, any job. So I think that's one of the weaknesses of it. And they don't have expertise in specific subjects, like I just said. So that's also something that I think it's a weakness to you to contract one of them. In the SMART objective, business objective, I wrote that I want to design and publish a copywriting, I think this is wrong written, but yes, later on I fixed that. So a copywriting app for small business on the iOS and Android platform, which will help 500 entrepreneurs create their social media content by for the latest quarter of 2021. So here you can see that I am being specific. I want to design and publish a copywriting app for small business. And then I can also measure this, right? Because I am talking about 500 entrepreneurs that I want to help. And it's achievable, like sure, like there are apps that run out there that from one day to another. You guys cannot see my screen? Like Nargis is saying that you cannot see the screen. Okay. I'm sharing the view already, Nargis. So can you see what I'm sharing? Like I have a text in front of me, which all these steps. Yes, I'm sharing the Figma file in front of me, but I am telling about the content I added to it. He is asking me if I'm sharing a Figma document. Yes, I have shared the link for you to duplicate if you want and do the exercise at the same time, but I'm also sharing here the content that's there. I have shared the link to the file sometimes. Oh, okay, I know what happened. I just shared with the panelists. Sorry, I will now share with you all. Now I think everyone can get the file. I'm sorry for that mistake. Great. So I will keep going. Here on this SMART goals I was saying, so this is specific. I want to have 500 entrepreneurs, and which is, yes, it's achievable because and realistic because you have thousands of entrepreneurs right out there, and you can see also a lot of apps that from one day to another doesn't sell 500, but sell like thousands, millions, and I'm just thinking about 500 entrepreneurs in 3 months. So that's totally achievable and realistic. And also timely because I'm talking about the latest quarter of 2021. I will share later on a list of resources that you can read more about problem statement, target audience, quick competitive analysis, like our competitive analysis, and also business SMART goals. And what I think that's really good that to put all of it together, you can see here too, is like a little script. In this little script, you put everything that your app is. So my app is made for who are tired of main weakness of current solutions that exist, have already tried to competitor one strengths and competitor two strengths, but they didn't work because they missed opportunities to solve. And unlikely others, what we're trying to solve, that focus on wrong and focus of other strengths, right? Like maybe they have a strength, but they are focusing on different things. My app, you focus on what really matters. Go one, and that works because then you give it a justification. And in that case, here for the example I'm giving you guys, Copy is made for entrepreneurs who are tired of spending time writing social media posts. Have already tried contract copywriters and to do the work themselves, but it didn't work because they were not specialists in their area, and it took them an extensive amount of time in order to keep updating their social channels. So like you can see here how it's going. Unlike other professional or companies that deliver copyright or that focus on courses and contracts, you focus on what really matters, that are delivering the sense of what. Sorry, it's Alexa here. For courses and contracts, you focus on what really matters, delivering the sense of what they can do by themselves. That works because they use it. It works because they save time, money, and increase their online presence. So here you have this justification, which I should really put in bold for you guys to have later on. I put here, so because they will, this is justification, save time, money, and increase their online presence. Great. So we now finish the definition part. And I want to ask you guys if this was clear, if you have any doubts already, or if you think that you can do this, answer those questions. I may give you, I don't know, 5 minutes if you want to do it now. What you guys want to do? Like I didn't prepare a playlist. I may look at right now at Spotify for a summer camp playlist, like Alejandro have done. I thought was a very cool idea, but yeah, I want to know from you guys if you want to create this document right now and also share a little bit of what you have been doing, or if you want me to keep going. No one? I think that's green sign, right? For just keep going. Okay, so I will keep going then. So after the definition part, we come with the ideation part. And you would think, oh yeah, ideations, like I have done already. I thought about the idea, right? It's a general idea generation. But here, ideation. Oh yeah, so copy is really under development. It's not like a Andrew asked if I can demo copy later. So copy is not ready. It's in development, and I was really planning the app when I was doing this seminar, because this is a project that is supposed to get out of the paper from this semester. So you guys, you'll be able to see that later on, but right now you won't. I won't be able to demo it. So for the ideation part here, we show Brainstorm. And I really like to brainstorm with how might we. how might we, it's a simple exercise that you should identify and outline your insights or pain points. So think about the problems that your customer are having or your target person are having. Reframe those challenges that they are having into positive questions. I will show example later on. Ensure that the range is not too narrow or too broad questions, because that can create a problem. Like maybe you are already focused on the solution, so you should avoid suggesting a solution directly. And also the more the merrier. So you can really create as much as questions as you can to later on to decide which one of them are the best. And in the end, I said like a vote. In this vote is exactly like that. You have several how might we's and you decide which of them are the best for you to focus on for your project or for your app, at least for the start. Going for now for the example on the Figma file that you guys don't have the access to, we have ideation, right? Here, a problem, my problem is that small business owners find copyright difficult, right? So a core statement for how might we would be how might we, so this HMW stands for how might we make copyright less difficult. That's a very not good way to put it because it's not positive. So a way to you to put it better would be how might we make copywriting quick, intuitive. So instead of saying a negative affirmation like less difficult, you put something that is totally the opposite. So what's better than less difficult is quick and intuitive, right? And here I have a well-framed how might we that gets all the points. So how might we design? Here it's we. I know that it's just me creating this, but this is a design exercise, design thinking exercise. And we use we because most of the time we are working in team, and if we are not, we may collaborate with others, and that's the practice. So how might we design and incorporate a copywriting app that makes small business owners feel confident and secure writing for their own social media? Isn't that more or less exactly what was the problem statement, but here written? So think about how you will write your own. So I will give you an example now of a too narrow and a too broad statement. For the too narrow, you have how might we design a product that helps small business owners write great marketing copy in 3 easy steps by using a guided workflow. So you see here, the problem is that I'm already giving a solution. I'm already saying that you have 3 easy steps and also you have a guided workflow. The intention here is for you to not focus on the solution. It's really for you to think a little bit broader, but not too broad like the latest one, that is how might we design the world's most innovative marketing copywriting app. That's just too big. I'm not focusing on nobody. I'm not giving a solution for a group or a niche. I am really trying to take over the world. And when you try to take over the world, most of the time it doesn't work. Like maybe it works if you're a woman. I'm kidding. Okay, in the future, maybe it works for some people, but most of the people won't work. So don't be too broad either. Try to be concise and to focus on the problem statement that you are trying to solve, but give it some room for you to come up with different solutions too. So good, how might we here solutions would be like how might we make copywriting quick and intuitive? Like that is okay, right? That's good. But very good or well-framed would be how might we design a copywriting app that makes small business owners feel confident and secure writing for their own social media, because this one's a little bit more complete. You are already talking about targeting person that's a small business, and you are already saying what they want help with, that is like a writing their own social media posts, right? And it's a copywriting app. So try to be a little bit like that. Everything right with this step, guys? How do you feel? Do you have any questions? Great. Joel says clear. Anybody else have a doubt or so okay to us to keep going? I think it's fine. Nobody says anything. You guys are. So for user, yes, user flows. Wow, this is going quick. User flows, you help you prioritize features. So maybe your app has a lot of things. You want an app like, let's say the example, I think here, Andrew said that he would do a multi-camp delivery app. It might be just that you just support those companies and not have an app where the user goes there and see a lot of things. But if it would be, then it maybe have a lot of features that are necessary for this to work well. And in this case, you would have to focus on some features first. And for that, we like to think about what is the problem that we want to solve and what would be the minimum viable product to start, right? Like when you are starting a no-code app, that's very important because you shall put out there, like publish something that it's small, but you can iterate and add new features in the future. So Joel already said that he wants to create an app for young alcoholics. And in that scenario, he's adding resources, chat, AA meetings, geared towards young adults. So in his case, I already see that he may start with a feature that may be different or not from other solutions, but for example, the AA meetings, right? Like giving the solution that would show where is the AA meeting for young alcoholics, or when it will happen, or how you can join, or some more of content related would be easy to do, would be already good to see for young alcoholics are really into searching for an app this kind, and also be easy to implement. So that would be great MVP for you to start with. And you get all the features that you want to do, you think about what you are trying to give, and then you decide which feature would be the best for you to start, just to put out there. Then later on, when you start to gather users, iterate and add other resources like resources, or add a chat and or add something else too. In this case here, we have what's the flow about. In the copy calling example I give first, you be like a copy calling navigation from login to dashboard. So that's very specific. That's what the flow is about. Could be about something else too. Or you could also make a usage of a user stories. User stories are like related to design again, right? It's a part of the design process, and you create little stories that the users are going to try to achieve with your product. In here, you see that as a user or as a type of user, right? Could be maybe that is the manager of the app, or could be just a simple user, or could be an editor type. But so as a type of user, I want some goal. So what this user wants, so that some reason, so that I will do this or I will do that. In case of Joe, let's say as a user, I want to find a list of meetings, of AA meetings, so that I could go to the one that's near my house. That could be a story for him. Or like for the delivery app, could be as a user, I want to have an app that I want to find an app that that give me a lot of companies. No, that's not really well constructed. So let's try again. So the problem that he's trying to solve, he's trying to help companies. So, okay, as a company, right? As a company, I want an app so that I want an app, a delivery app. So as a company, I want a delivery app so that I get support in delivering my food to my customers, for example. Andrew just said that his app is like an iFood, so it could be a lot of stores inside, and in this case, so as a restaurant or as a user, right, as a restaurant, I want to create my page or to create my page on certain delivery app, or I want to create my page on iFood so that all my customers can find me and I can deliver direct to them. So this could be a user story there. In the user flow, you should always think of using one directional flow so that you don't do a labyrinth. And what I mean by that is that, you know, from this place, you go to this place, that goes to this place, you go to this place, and not that you be like, oh yes, from here I go here, and then I come back here. So try to be really direct where you are going, to where you are going. Always have a legend key. You understand this better when I show the example, but legend key, it's more or less like, for example, what's the page, what's an action, where it's how you show what's the start and what you show, and for the user interaction, the flow, that use the arrows, for example, and find the best direct solution. So when you have this what's the flow about, or a user story, you should think about what would be the best indirect solution for the user. And why you think about that? You think about that because when you get all the apps that you use daily, most of them, I would say, because I'm saying that it's not rare that you encounter a lot of problems out there, you be very intuitive. And by being intuitive, what I mean with that is that you will just go and use it without any help. You won't need to see these tutorials. Like when an app starts for me, like with a tutorial on how to use it, I'm already liking it, because I think like, okay, if I couldn't figure out that by myself, it's because they didn't really make a very good thought about it. So right now, let's go to the example. Here I have a user flow. And here is the legend that I told you about. So I have here the start, a process, and the decision. That's an action, right? Start is just for showing where you are starting your user flow. The process is like the steps that the user you take, or the screens that you see. The decision is like the actions that you have to take, or maybe you can also define this by the buttons that the user you have to click. And the errors are just to indicate the flow, and you should try to keep this as much as direct as possible. One of the tests I added was like the navigation from login to dashboard. And here I have added that I had the step of the app download and then open the app. So you start. And they start I added another screen. I could add 3 screens, but I just added one that say onboard 1, 2, 3. So I think that I could add there 3 screens to show what my app will do for you. So I would put something like, oh yeah, copy and paste, copyright and the change to your needs. I could add don't spend too much time, it's save time and money, avoiding contracting other copyrights that don't understand your business. And the third thing could be something like pay once and never anymore. Like I really love that. So the point is that you just pay it once, if you use it for longer time, like as much as you need, and even for more than one business if you need, so you pay it once, and that's a huge opportunity there. So I like to use onboard screens to show what is in there for the in this app for the users, to make them interested in what is inside. I am really, as a designer, I hate to create logins, but sometimes it's necessary. But Bravo also allows you to not just create logins, but also user ID, which I think is fantastic, because this way you can have the users without registering your email and so on. But depending on what you want as a business strategy, you may need their email. So, keep that in mind, just if if you can avoid to create something like this step further for the user just to see what's inside your app, I would really recommend, because I think that's something that make a lot of users just avoid creating their account, because they don't know if this is for them or if it's really good or not. And in the case of an app that's paid, I think after they paid anyways, so what's the point? You maybe can also create a free version of it that just simplifies the content, or give off some of the content for free, and later on they can, if they are interested and if they like the content, they can buy the other app, so that they try the free version and later on buy the new one. And in this case here, I just arrived to the login screen, and in the login screen, you can see that I have 2 actions. I have added here login screen, but I could add it out. I could put this screen as a register, for example. And here I have login and sign up. And those are 2 actions, and you can see that in this flow, you can go direction login and then direction sign up. But if you go in direction sign up, when you finish sign up, you can get back and login. So this is why this arrow is coming back to login. And if you log in, and of course this is successful, you go to the dashboard. You could also add here, for example, the forgot password. You could add a new actions forgot password, and then you would have a flow that you sent the user an email, and this email they would open on their email, like a Gmail or any other, and come to a page, reset their password or exchange it, and then be able to get in, to log in again, and also go to the dashboard. So you can increase this flow as you wish, and as you think it's very interesting for your user and for your use case. Later on, I have added here an example that I will just create with you guys, if you guys want. Is that as a user, I want to find the right content so that I can do my next post. So here I'm trying to facilitate the life of these small business entrepreneurs or owners. And if you get an app that will help you create this content for their social media, what they will try to find. So they will get into the app, they will have be on the dashboard, and they will like, okay, so now what, right? And here this flow would think about this. So any guys have any idea how I would start this, or want to do this exercise together, want to speak up, or have some doubts so far? Are you all hearing me well too? The microphone is quite far. I can put it near. Is it better now? Good. So you all hear me. That's lovely because now I can see some answers. Great. And okay, so here, great, Joel. Good to keep going on my end. And I think you just do this simple exercise here with you guys, just for you to see. I will just copy some of those here and paste, so I just duplicate or Command D or Control C, Control V. It really depends on what you want. So I will start my flow here. I will even copy this here too. I'll just copy here to make it easy. So in this case, I'm starting. I have already the app open, and I will add that I will start on the dashboard. Dashboard. That's what I did, right? In the process, what would be, what would be the next step? So I want to find the right content. I'm on the dashboard. What's supposed to be there on the dashboard to help me to find the right content? Maybe search. So I could say that, yes, I have a search page, for example, search page. And on that search page, I can add some term, and I can search. Later, after search, I can filter this content too with some new keys. And after I do that, what will happen? Maybe I have, maybe not. In this case, I will have a results page with whatever I have searched. So I go to the dashboard, I see the search page there, I click on it, and then there I add some term, right? And then I click on search, and when I click on search, there are a lot of results. So the results, you come first, and then on the results, I may filter those results, and I will have the results filtered page, and in this results filtered page, I can click on one of the results, right? I can just click on one of the results or select the result, and I will then see that exact page. So it will be result page. That is in singular, that's in plural. And the flow here, you can see it's quite straightforward. I am just putting it a little bit more like this, and I will create now some arrows with this. So if I put it here, I can just add here an arrow, a line arrow, and then you just copy and paste these because that's really like that. So here, and it could be different too, but right now I think that's good enough. I think it's simple enough and go direct to the point too. And when you do user testing, like when you launch the first app or when you have the prototype of it, you can also test, which I'm not talking about here, but you could test your app, which should be very good for you to do, and iterate and show what be the best for you guys to implement, or if this was good enough for the user, if they understood it right, if something was missing. So you have to take it all into consideration. Alberto is asking here, to start a new post first, we need to find or choose a topic, maybe. To start a new post, what do you mean by a new post? Tell me there, Alberto, what do you mean by new post, please? So that I can understand your question better. Here you can see that's straightforward. Like I could also add some more things on the side. So start a search page, search, then I could add here that I have like an input from the user, right? Like input from the user with a keyword. So you could add that. You could also on the results page just say that this keyword was searched, results with the keyword. That sounds quite similar. So here you can filter. You can say that the user selected some filters, like, for example, maybe he ordered it by recent, maybe he added like a price range. You can have several filters, like in this case here, I would say that he could order the content, or maybe he could also think of, since we are talking about social media, like about a category, maybe if you are introducing yourself, if you are talking about a product that or service that your company have, then you have a results filter page. It's a list page with your results that you just filtered. Then you select the result and you have the result page that you be the item, right? So I even show you put result item page because that's the item you have selected. Alberto, I haven't heard from you, so I don't know what you mean by start new post. Okay, so here, well, I'm thinking this, I need to create a new post to publish in social media, but maybe I didn't know what to publish. Maybe a list of topics or suggestions help to choose and start. That's a great idea, and you can think of that way too. So in this case here, I went for the search because I thought, okay, I want to find the right content, and to how you would find, you would use the search. But in your case, you have done a very good example too. You don't know what to publish, so you may think that in your app or in your dashboard, you would have some suggestions. So we could just start a new one here on the side. That would be like, yeah, you start on the dashboard, and then on the dashboard, instead of having a search page, you have some, like you said, topic suggestions. And in these topic suggestions, you would what? You would select one topic, right? And then you have a list too, select topic. And when you select topic, you would get an ending page that would be that topic that you selected. You have a topic page, and you also have the same kind of flow. So you have from one to another, and then you go from the suggestions to the topic. Sorry, I should, yes. So I copy and paste here, it's easier. And then you have the topic page. Is that Is that clear now? So you could go both ways. You could even ideate or think about other paths as well, like what would be interesting for your app itself. Is that clear now? Anyone has any other doubt? It seems no, nobody said anything. So let's keep going. Now we go to wireframes. Wireframes is a very cool, oops. Okay. Very cool step. And in this step, I added here one of the techniques we use, like an exercise that we use also in design thinking, that help you to think about what you be in each screen. So right now I just did the user flows, and the user flows you thought about the page, you thought about the actions that the user would do, like maybe have buttons and etc. And now you choose one of your features that you have for your app, and then you get a page like this. If you want to do on paper, I recommend doing that in paper because that's much easier. And you fold it in 3 times. So you fold it in the middle, fold it again, so twice, and then fold it the 3rd time again, the middle again. And you have this little block of paper. When you open it, what you see is that you have 8 squares, right? And in this exercise, what we do is that we get this page and we get one of the points that we thought about, or one of the screens we thought about, like we thought about on this last feature, we talked about the content for the social media, creating a new post. We talked about the possibility of having a dashboard that has a search, and also some topics or some suggestions that to help you choose to start. That was Alberto's idea. So you could here decide that this is the feature we are talking about. We are talking about dashboard, how the dashboard you look like, how the search or the topics could look like. And then you have this in mind, and you get a timer. Can get your watch or your phone, and in here you set an 8-minute timer that will be like 1 minute for each screen, 1 minute for each of those squares. And what you do, you will draw as much as you can, like in the simplified version, like, images, some square, or text, just some lines. You don't need to be too specific in each simple not example, but in each simple detail. But it's good for you to have an overall idea on what you be on the screen and how it will look. So you can draw as much as screen as you can. In this case, we do 8 because we do just 1 page, but you could do the back of it too. So it would be 16, and you could just ideate for each feature in each step of your app, which will help you later on to create your prototype, right? And yeah, keep repeating. So I think nobody else is doing the exercise right now, or someone just try it with me. 2, we can ideate about copy collie, and together, if you guys want, get a paper, get a pen, can be any color of pen or even just a pencil, and we can do that. You could also do that digitally, like if you have a tablet. I also use the tablet a lot for doing this kind of exercise when I am on the way and they don't have paper, like you can also do it on Figma, but that I would say that is like more a mid-fidelity quality. And here we are really going for the rapid prototyping. So it's very low quality. It's like, it's not super fancy and it's fairly easy to go. So you put here 1 minute and you keep pressing until I finish. And if you guys want to do the exercise with me, be free to do so. So I will start here my timer and think of the dashboard and the search and the topics and suggestions that will be there. And every time the times runs out, I will change from square. I will just show you guys what I have been drawing just for fun. So we will take 8 minutes with this. I will start now. So I'm adding a square, I'm putting a search on top, I'm quite used to that. I am saying that I'm also having on this dashboard some topics here that would be a carousel. I could say, I could also show here some featured examples, like maybe from other users that like something, or even like a subject or a topic here. And I was even good enough for some suggestions. I have some image. Yeah. So here's my first screen. So I repeat the timer, I create the second screen and think about the same. So if I would have a search, I could have it here still on top. I could have another line that would be some filters. I was talking about filtering. Maybe I could also say here like an order as a filter. And I could say also that I would have, I don't know, like don't know, you'll keep it that there. And then I would have a list of things. Maybe I will have tags assigned to any of those. I could have an image. And I could have some text. And then some text. So here now it was quicker. Then I repeat. So now thinking about some other ways to show suggestions, could be like some screens like this. I would have suggestions. Then below the suggestions, I could maybe have some users saying about it, and also how many stars, if they like that content. Why not? Or how the app was good for them. I could also see other users. I could here, keep the search on the top. Like I really like to keep the search on the top. Maybe I also add a search field. And I could say also, hello, Karla. Could you say this to my user? Why not? So I have the third drawing. So things are getting shape. You see that as much as you do this, it's like you just improve your idea, because most of the time the first idea is not really the best idea. Most of the time this is like this. So I could also add the search on the bottom of my page. Maybe I could have a user here on top. I could have a menu on the side. And I could say, hello, Karla, on top. Yes, I am kind of redesigning the same screen, but I can also go on other topics that that talk about the same. So I'm thinking about these topics, suggestions, and search, and the dashboard. So I'm focusing on the dashboard and how it will look for the users to decide if they go for the search or for the topic. So here I added some different screen. I can add another one. So let's go here. Didn't do much. I could add here like this. I could do the search as just as an icon. I could also, I don't know, maybe add the users on the center. And when the user arrives, I could say, hello, Karla, here on top. I could say what they could do, right? I could say like here, you can 1, 2, 3, and maybe add some links that they could use or choose what they want to do, and add some posts or ideas or suggestions on below. So here it's other version. So 3 more minutes, guys. Hope you guys are not so bored with me. I can go for a different design, maybe on this side, why not? And here I could say that I would have the dashboard and also the search and also, yeah, maybe even reviews or start. Maybe you would like to like some content, so why not put it there too? So you could have the search. Hey guys, I kind of finished for a minute. It's all okay here? Okay, great. Like, can you all see me again? Hear me well? I am in the 7th screen now. Okay, great. I was I was a little bit nervous for a moment. I just do a list of content with some title, and I could do a huge slider of suggestions as well when I click in suggestions, and could be one of I don't know, 100, or start here, right? The latest one, let's go for the latest screen. In the latest screen, I could just be very creative. You add this slider in the center. And I will add it like as topics that you could choose. You could have this here. You could have the search on the bottom, the user, and maybe the dashboard. And you could also have like a big start here. Let's start for the user to know what to do, and just hello, Karla. Okay, finish it on time. I will stop my timer now. So now I have 8 ideas on how to do this wireframing for this dashboard. And if you can see my screen on the user flow here now, on the 5th frame, I added an example from a user that was doing a workshop from Salesforce and creating a quick sales app. And in this case here, the 8 steps actually they used for putting each step of the app, which you could use as think of the flow and create one screen for each step. But I think it's very good for the main screens for you to think all of the squares for one idea, because that you bring you different ideas and also different ways to try things out, and you could also test it. You could just put it in front of the users and see which version they actually understand better, or they feel that you already explained itself. Remember that we talked about it like easy to use and quick, right? Quick and easy to use. So I think that's very important for you to try those main screens in a way that the user already see what's in there for them. Is that all right, guys? Did you get this step? Did you have some fun doing it by yourself? Do you have some doubts about it? Offline apps for wireframe. Andrew is asking if I have other suggestions of online apps for wireframe. So online apps, you could use a bunch of things, you could anything that draws squares and type text. For example, you could use Google presentation slides. You could use Figma. You could use Balsamic. You could use Miro. You could use so many things for the wireframe. In the end, I would recommend to use Figma or Xd if you are doing this later on, to use Bravo to create your app, because then you can create components and just replace them later on with the real thing and make it useful. And so you would get, you would get a little bit more, it would be quicker, the process. So Andrew, Adobe Xd it's okay, I'm sending to panelists again but now I will. So Adobe Xd is the Adobe product to create interface for apps and web products. And you have Figma, that is the software that we are using right now, that I would also recommend, because later on you could use this to create a prototype, also test with your users, and then later on when you add, for example, Bravo tags, and you can just import to Bravo and have your app made out of it. So you would get, be quicker on the production. So Xd, it is part of a Creative Cloud. If you already pay for Creative Cloud, you can get it for free. If you don't, you need to pay for a license. Figma is free and also collaborative and also online. It's using all the files on the cloud. You can share this with others. You can get help from others. You can work on the same file at the same moment. So you can see that I really don't like Figma, right? Okay, I really like Figma. I think Figma it's really good. But if you already use Xd or have Creative Cloud, go for it. If you don't, go for Figma, because that's free and you can build your app there for free without having to pay a plan for it. Besides about the online tools for doing wireframes, do you guys have any other doubt? So far, nothing. So I may go to the next step. That is the strategy. So here we quite planned a lot of the steps of the app. We thought about who was our target audience, what we want to help them to achieve, what are the problems that we are trying to solve, and how we are going to solve, and how we are going to stand out between the competitors, right? And here on the strategy, what we are going to do is to grow. So I added this step, even though you don't have yet tried the app with other users or have the wireframe as a prototype, because prototype will be the next step of this bootcamp. So be there to check it out, like the front end, the back end, and then because this will be part of what will be like the prototype of your idea in real world. But here I want to share with you guys some steps of what I have done for my apps when I was building them and after publication too. That's a little bit of the marketing strategy that you can think of when you bring those points that you did the competitor analysis and you thought about the opportunities. So what you can do to make your app successful. App Store is crowded, like Google Play or App Store, both of them are crowded. To stand out there, promoting it before launch will be great for you. If you have an idea that you think it will work, if you create a mid-fidelity prototype or a high-fidelity prototype before you launching it or you putting functionality to it, if you create a landing page and add there what will be possible when you put it, publish it, or that the people can sign up for getting to know when the app is published, or to make traction or give some giveaway, like maybe it's a paid app and then you add there that for the people that are subscribed that you get a discount, or that you get a free access for I don't know how long time, things like that can be very important to do before launch for you to stand out between the crowd. Like, there are so much, like you could use Product Hunt and the other tools to just make it noticeable. Incorporating reviews. So of course, it's quite difficult to incorporate reviews before you publish it, but after you do so, you should incorporate those also to your sales page, also maybe to marketing page, like on the online, on the App Store or Google Play. But also you could use real feedback from the people that you've tried this prototype in high fidelity with, like things that they thought were useful or what they are trying to get from it, what they did comment about your solution that makes it better than the rest. So use those comments on your marketing campaigns, on your sales page. I think that's also a great strategy. Make your app shareable. So that is a point that a lot of people forget about. And I think it's also very important for you to just add a simple button on your app to allow the users that you have to share it with others. It may be very simple or even feel that it doesn't make a difference, but what's the hassle of you to get a name from a friend and maybe you don't know how to type it, or you type it wrong at that time, and you go to the search of the App Store or Google Play and then you get lost and you don't find, or there are more apps with the same kind of name, and then you have to be discussing how is the look of the icon and stuff. So try to help your app to go viral. It might not get viral from one day to another, maybe gets viral from one day to another, but if you allow the users to share it with others, if they like it, they will do that. So use it in your benefit. Invest on your online presence. So try to develop a strong reputation, maybe do some posts, maybe talk with people that collaborate with social media influencers, like someone that's in the field or someone that could use your app and give a hint about it for others. Use SEO, search engine optimization, not just for your marketing page on the app stores, but also on your sales page. Try to get people from your target audience to get to see it via, you can add, you can create ads, you can create Facebook ads, Instagram, AdWords, you can do so much, but even without investments, you can create SEO with a very good content, or really think about keywords, do some, go to Google Trends and search for the words that fit with your product and the words that are being searched. See how other people use search to solve the problem that you are trying to solve. For that to make sense, for example, like the iFood app, how would people search for that? Oh, okay, so I want to eat pizza in my town. So here I live near Baden, so I would say pizza in Baden, right? So this would be how I would search for pizza in Baden. So if you have a pizzeria registered in your app that is in Baden, if you do a SEO with that you bring your app to me, I could see the results of it. Of course, you can rank your content several ways, and you should study a little bit about this or get someone that's very knowledgeable about it to do it for you. But that's what I mean with SEO. Tracking and monitoring your app performance. So this is really about, after you're publishing your app, for you to be careful what users are saying around the globe about your app. Check Google Alerts, for example. You can add there some specific tags, or the name of your app, or your name as a developer, or the name of the company that you have. And every time that this pops up online, they will let you know that some new content was created with those keywords, right? So this way you can just really track and monitor what people are saying around there, but also you can monitor that about the performance on the App Store and Google Play for each of the apps you publish. So you should take a little bit of time from your month to look at this, and to be sure that your app is working accordingly, and also that people, what people are saying, if they want something more, if they are complaining about something that doesn't work, if remember what you did for your competitors, now after publishing your app, you serve for yourself. So here how now Joel posted some questions and suggestions on privacy-friendly tracking for your app, especially when building an app that deals with confidential info. So what I saw is that you have several websites out there that you can create privacy policy from kind of a script, just add some points about your app. I don't know much about that, so I just use this because I'm not really dealing with confidential information at all. But what I would recommend in this case is for you to find someone in your network that's a lawyer that works with this kind of thing, and talk with them. Try to speak with someone that's a specialist, or someone that also have published an app that also deal with this kind of content that are confidential, how they are handling it and what they are adding there. Maybe you even install something that like this and just check what they are written, what they wrote there on this privacy policy, for you to inspire yourself in writing your own. Do you know any good websites, course or blog links to SEO training. So there is Neil Patel, I think it's his name. He does a course in SEO, not related just to web, but for website optimization. In this case, I think it's important because it will be a sales page. Anyways, you won't sell the app itself inside the app. And I can add the link to this file. I will update this file soon. You might duplicate it later on again because there will be this resource list that is not there anymore, but not there yet, not all of it. So I will add this link there too for you to, with this training on SEO. I will add here to my list in green, for actually in red, to remember, because, you know, SEO, I just had SEO here, I remember. Oh, you found him on YouTube. Great, that's lovely. I will add this link there then. So I will add this link to the list. Oh, and now, any other questions, guys? Like, we are reaching the end of 1 hour 25 of me talking. I'm already almost without voice. Oh my God. Okay, I think I never talked too much. Nobody talked with me so far. I'm quite, you know, speaking by myself here alone. It's not so fun. But any other doubts, any other questions, any things you guys had the problem understanding, or that you think that you need help with on this phase of planning your app? Great. So Kieran asked how to get feedback on the prototypes created. I think that's an amazing question. User interviews. Create a prototype. Now Figma, if you do it in Figma, you have a Figma prototype or Figma mirror. You add the name, you check the name just now for you. You can also create a prototype in several other tools. Sorry, like in Vision, for example. So you have Figma mirror or just Figma, that it's with this white icon, with this white icon, and this Figma with this white icon, it's kind of just a prototype that goes direct to your phone. And in this case, what you do for testing is that you recreate the tasks you want the user to do. So one of the tasks could be like, oh, so you just arrived to this dashboard, how you would go about finding the content to post next, right? This was the exercise of creating this whole screens. And then the user would have the screens before too, the login and so on. And then they would have to be clicking and thinking out loud. So they would tell you everything that they are seeing and where they are clicking. And if they have any doubt, they can just pick up. You should not really help the user much because you will lead them to some how to say, conclusions, right? Of course, you can use Bravo Vision, but if you want to use Bravo Vision, I think your file should be in a little bit better condition than paper. You can really just cut this in paper and put in front of your user. And about the Figma mirror, you don't need to add tags. So I would also think that that's a better before thing, because if you do Bravo first, then you have to iterate with it. It might get too busy. I think for you to test your idea, I would recommend it to do before you just go there to add Bravo tags and implement it. If you are sure about your solution, sure, go with Bravo Vision and add the tags, and then later on iterate. So it's up to you. Like, you have several ways to use, but I also do several tests with just paper, and I'm glad that this clarified your question. So here I have Joe is asking about time management. What tools do I recommend to use for time management? So I love a tool for time management. It's called Clockify. You can see here, everything I do, I use that for. So I think this is the best tool that's free out there in the market. I would recommend the address clockify.me. And if I haven't written it wrong, there is a I missing here. Clockify, yeah, .me. And in this tool, you can add there what you are doing, for which project you are doing, if it's a paid project, if it's not, if it's a task or not, and then you can also see. And I don't have this slide here, but I also did this for other projects, so I can actually share with you guys here just for you to see. Community, you get these amazing menus. I think it's there. You can, nope. So I think another one. Let's go to how to build online apps. Yes, this one I'm sure, or yes. So here with this tool, I actually tracked my time doing the apps I have published. And you can see that like a Scarf app was the first app I have built. And it was also the one that I most spent time with. Later on, I just kind of used less time, but I also keep the phases like for ideation, for prototyping, for testing, you know, so that I know when I have a customer or that I need to do some app, I know more or less how much time I will spend with each type of app or each type of function, at least for the functions that I already built something. So when you are learning to use Bravo Studio and testing things on Bravo Vision, you see that the impact of it at first may take you a while to learn, but afterwards things flow immensely. So you see that you get speed and you'll be able to build more and more in a quicker and easier way. Does that answer your question, Joe? Great. So, and now you keep going with the summer camp, and you see that that you'll be like a front end, back end, and build, that you'll be like the part of a prototyping, and then you have some project management tools, and also how to search for funding, and also to launch your app, like to publish it on iOS and Android stores. Thank you very much. It was an immense pleasure to be here. Thank you for being communicative in the chat, to talking with me. And I see that Andrew now did a question too. So do you use any Figma templates for mobile app design? I am not good with UX UI. So you can get UI kits on Bravo Studio. There are a lot of content free out there in Bravo website. You can check it out there. Like you can duplicate the files, use their structure. This will help you a little bit with UX. And also there are some UI kits there, and you can also buy UI kits on places like Envato or Creative, forgot the rest, Creative something. There are a lot of, if you search for buy UI kit or even if you just search for the community, like just go for the community Figma here, you can see like a UI kit, and you see that there is a bunch of UI kits that you can get for free, and maybe they also have a paid version that's even better than this one, so you can also get those. Like you see here, Bravo UI kit. So you have a UI kit here, the essentials for Bravo. You can use that, and also even better because it comes already with the tags. So forget about the problems I told you about, that you have to learn about the Bravo tags and so on. Here you even have this made and easy to use. So you just duplicate this file, And a lot of people have duplicated already. You can duplicate it yourself, change the style, the colors if you need, but use something that's already pre-made. And you also have Bravo blocks. So here on the Bravo channel, you can see that you have several things to download on Figma. So I say that Figma is great. Like you have a Spotify player, you have a travel app, you have a Shopify app if you want to build like a shopping, you have so many things you can see here. You have Foodgram app, like it's like an Instagram for food. You have modal pages. So there are a lot of examples here that you can just duplicate and use in your projects. Andrew. Alberto, do you ever feel afraid of great ideas that at development stage are really hard or expensive to implement, or ever had a problem with that? That's a really good question. I think every great idea can start this small. So you get this small and start with it. And this way you won't be afraid of anything. Later on, when this is done, you get another punch and another punch and another punch. And you see your idea growing, and you see your users using your app, and you gather feedback, improve on what you have done. So don't be afraid of any idea. Don't be afraid that, okay, I want to have a login, but I didn't do it now because I didn't know how to do it later. Start without, put later. You can always increment your app, you can always iterate, you can always test. And the best thing is that you can get feedback from your users and you can improve it. So don't be afraid of any big idea, just go for it, start small and grow. Does that answer you, Alberto? So guys, any other question before I go? Or like, if not, be free to reach me too. Like Bravo has a community on Circle, so you can get to the website from Bravo and just join the community. Since you are doing an app, I'm a Bravo expert, I'm there on the community, but there are a lot of other people too to help you if you have any questions. If you want to talk with me, be free to add me on LinkedIn, be free to reach me out there, or also on Twitter. You also have here my portfolio. You have my mentoring program. So you can check all these links out and you can get in touch with me too if you need some help, if you need some consultation, if you just want to speak up or to talk about some problem that you are having, if you are out of clue on how to do things, just let me know. Okay, be free to connect. And if you guys don't need anything else, so let's see if someone else has another question. I'm really glad, Alberto, that you already start to think some ideas. Thank you for being here. And I hope this was helpful to you. And I hope to see also you doing these exercises. And if you do, be free to reach out and see and show me what you have done, tweet about it. I would love to see what you are trying to build and how you are building this step of planning your app. Okay, thank you. And have a really good day whenever you are. I'm in Switzerland right now, so here it's almost 9 in the evening. And yeah, good night, everyone. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.